My name is Morgan Gino, and I am going to talk to you today about drug, opioid, and alcohol abuse. And this topic is near and dear to my heart as I live in an area where this affects the children in our school system. First, I'm going to talk about the issue with some stats, and a lot of these stats are from the 2017 National Survey. Between 1999 and 2016, opiate-related deaths more than quadrupled, with over 350,000 people in the U.S. dying of overdoses. These are affecting children and adolescents in different ways, along with those around them, which I'll go through later. In 2017, 140.6 million Americans aged 12 or older were current alcohol users. 66.6 million were binge drinkers. In the same year, 30.5 million people aged 12 or older used an illicit drug in the past 30 days. So, just to put that in perspective, that's 1 in 9 Americans. With an uprise in these drug, opioid, and alcohol abuse, more children and adolescents are being affected each year by substance abusing parents or the adolescent abusing substances themselves. So right here, I'm going to go over parental substance use and child vulnerabilities. So this is from a survey and a little bit of research, and it goes over cognitive functioning, academic functioning, and as you can see, boys with alcoholic fathers performed worse on cognitive and emotional functioning, and in the academic functioning section, they also performed worse on arithmetic and middle childhood education. So that's just showing you the effect from alcohol abusing fathers. And this is a continue, and it's with emotional and social functioning, which also showed the rates of problem behavior and substance use as well. Now I'm going to talk about personal, social, and moral development. This is from chapter 4 in the book. So it just talks about how teachers need an awareness of a child's personal, social, and moral development in order to address concerns of classroom management, the relationships between students, and other critical issues. This is for mainly children who are living with a parent or a caretaker that is abusing alcohol or drugs or anything like that, even prescription medicine, and just how it's our job as the teacher to be aware of the child's personal, social, and moral development and what's going on at home, especially. Now I'm going to go over the negative outcomes from these parents and caretakers on their child. Compared to their peers, children of substance abusing parents show increased rates of anxiety, depression, oppositional behavior, conduct problems, and aggressive behavior, as well as lower rates of self-esteem and social competence. Here's another stat for you. By young adulthood, 53% of these children evidence an alcohol or drug use disorder as compared to 25% of their peers. So meaning that 53% of these children that have parents who are abusing substances are more likely to do it themselves as well. Children of alcoholic parents show a specific and unique risk for earlier onset of substance use, faster acceleration in their patterns of substance use, and higher rates of alcohol and drug use disorders than do children of non-alcohol parents. In general, parental substance abuse is associated with poor academic functioning, which you could see in the test on the two slides before. And this is just a YouTube link. It's called From a Child's Perspective, and it just kind of lets you see what a child is going through and what they see when they have a parent abusing alcohol, opioids, or any substance. It's a very good video, and I thought it was very touching. Now I'm going to go over student substance abuse and how it happens. I feel like everyone says that won't be me, that won't be my child, but based off of the stats from the national survey that we saw earlier, this is a big problem. 1 in 9 Americans that are 12 or older. And what I researched is a lot of this problem is coming from peer pressure, family issues. Tobacco and alcohol represents the two most significant drug threats to adolescents, and more than $25 billion per year is spent on advertising for these. Um, and I feel like that is key because these students are watching TV and watching the advertisements, and it might trigger something. And then pain medicine just prescribed from sports. This one I'm going to go over in a couple slides down the road just because it's a true story. So, student substance use results. Alcohol and drug related problems are important factors in school related functioning. Increases in alcohol consumption result in statistically significant but quantitatively small reductions in GPA. More immediate consequences of alcohol and drug use and on school related problems such as poor grade achievement and high absence rates from school. Students with divorced parents are more likely as well. That is in the book. So that's just another cause of all of this. But these results, I feel like you've seen them in classmates before, maybe going through high school. I know I personally had, especially the lower GPA and the absence stat, which ultimately could result in maybe not even graduating from high school. So these are real life stories of two students, and I wanted to go over what does an addict or user look like, especially in the childhood setting. Um, and I feel like it's important to point out how there is no image of a student using drugs or alcohol. Just because they might look a certain way, we don't know. So the first story is about a young girl named Abby who's an athlete, and she ultimately got hooked on um, prescription drugs from an injury. And same with the girl underneath Laura. But these girls were great students. They were athletic, they were involved, and they were on drugs that led into heroin use by the age of 17. And that is a very young age, and they were just students that you wouldn't think that was happening to them. So I want everyone to take a look at these stories. They're really eye-opening. Abby's story is actually written from her perspective as well. So now I'm going to go over what can we do as educators? Adolescents who perceive that their teachers care about them are less likely to initiate marijuana use, cigarette smoking, drinking to get drunk, and other health risk behaviors. Relationships with teachers and counselors are among the most important and formative ones for many students, especially middle school students. Students may misbehave because they are under the influence of drugs or certain medication. Understanding the conditions that may be triggering students' misbehavior will be very important to finding an effective strategy. This is another area where teachers' reflective and critical skills can be put into practice. So all these are basically saying it's our job to notice, to be involved, to show our students that we care, to build these relationships just so they feel loved, especially for those students who are struggling with the home side of it and don't maybe not have that at home. But even the students who do have a good home life and everything, they still need that relationship from us. It's our job. And then other just what can we do is drug screening programs for drug education, provide resources, and be there for each student. We can't judge them because they have a problem and send them to the principal's office. We need to be there and truly be there when the problem arises. And one little thing that I thought was really interesting is my brother, he just graduated from high school last year, and his high school actually started a program where if the child did a voluntary drug test each month, once a month, they got this drug free card, and this card gave them like 50% off at Chipotle and one free movie a month just from local businesses that volunteer to do that just to keep the drug out of the school. So I thought that was a really cool program that was initiated in that. And then I included a YouTube link here as well for parents just recognizing that they need to talk about this issue. I feel like it's growing more and more each year, and kids are getting younger and younger, and the access to these drugs, opioids, and alcohol are just getting easier and easier. And as the stats show, 12 years old is when a lot of it is beginning, and that is very young. I don't even know if I knew what that was at 12 years old, but I feel like us teachers can definitely make an impact on all of this. And then here's all my references. Thank you.